So, what's the name of that programming language you're a fan of?
Elm,
Elm, and why do you think it's the future?
because it is taking the decades of programming language research and turning it into something accessible that people can actually use and like.
Okay. Well, why does it increase accessibility? What's the
Well, the key thing is that a lot of the languages that share the same characteristics that Elm does have a significant barrier to the newcomer because they're coached in a very academic language.
Okay. So this is really good for people starting programming. Then.
It's fantastic for people starting programming.
And how about seasoned pros? Is there anything for them?
It's great for seasoned pros, and especially for people, for example, like me, who has been immersed in object-oriented programming languages, who's been immersed in dynamic languages,
Yeah.
To be exposed to a world of static and typed programming languages in a way that helps them to build on the knowledge they already have, but helps them to ramp up on the areas that they don't yet have. And because there's such a small, because it's such a small hump.
Learning curve.
Yeah, I mean, the learning curve is large in terms of changing the way that you think, the paradigm, object-oriented versus functional. But in terms of like something like Elm compared to where it's currently used in the JavaScript ecosystem, I find Elm is fantastic because it's a language you can actually learn. Like, you can actually know it. You actually, like, you can understand the boundaries of what the programming language does for you and where it goes. And it's nice and tight. It constrains you in a way that gives you the freedom to actually do something with it. Or something like JavaScript. You can program JavaScript in an imperative way. For example, jQuery, you can program JavaScript in an object-oriented way, like the stuff that you've been used to on the back end. And you can program a language. You can program in JavaScript in a functional way. But in order to do that, you've got to put the constraints on yourself. And it's so easy just to revert back to the old way of doing things. So Elm forces you down a certain path, doesn't allow you to deviate from the path. And that, and it's, I find that gives me great freedom.
Cool. So, how far along are you with your book?
Not very far. So my book, I mean, I guess, so the book is not how do I program in Elm. I guess the book is an account of like my discovery of Elm and just my, my excitement about being introduced to this language that it just feels right. And in a way to try and capture that in the context of like the JavaScript ecosystem, JavaScript fatigue, people learning new frameworks coming out every week. And Elm, I guess a big influence is my experience with Ember.js, which is another framework that tries to give you better primitives, that tries to give you a nice convention-driven development environment, something that allows you to work well in teams, something that works well for the startup as well as it does for the enterprise. And while Ember is great and a lot of people have used Ember successfully, I felt that Elm attacked the same problems but did it in a radically different way. And that was really refreshing because it felt like it was boiling the things down to their simplest parts and then giving you the building blocks to build on top of that without the underlying complexity of an ecosystem like Ember.
Cool. Could you put up what you have right now just as a blog post? You don't have to do a full book.
Potentially, yes. I mean, I've done some. I've written some blog posts about Elm on elmbark.com, ELMBARK, and yeah, I guess I could write a lot more. I have written a lot more. I guess I could publish a lot more.
Cool. Thank you.